What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, host of the Philly Talk podcast, and we are back. I mean, me and Gate were live yesterday on each other's own channel, but BBP is what I'm talking about is back, Battle Birds podcast. So we are live on 3 channels: the Philly Talk podcast, Gate City Sports channel, and Philly Fresh's channel. And for those who are watching this on the rerun and don't know who either one of us are, I introduce myself and go ahead, Gate.
What's up, guys? My name is Steve. Some of y'all might know me by Gate. Some of y'all might know me by Stat Sheet Steve. I don't care what you call me. Just don't call me late for dinner. I'm going to let my guy below go ahead and let everybody know who he is.
What's up, y'all? Psych. You're you know that, man. You know who it is. You know what it is. Your boy Philly Fresh, a.k.a. the General. Also a fourth. Yes, a fourth for the Battle Bird podcast. You see these 2 dudes up? They are also a fourth. But you, every last one of y'all, like, subscribe, comment, all that. Y'all are also a fourth. That's why I say a fourth. It's 3 of us, and it's all of y'all. Together, we make 4. What's going on, y'all? Yo, that. Y'all see it on the shirt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely go check out his merch. Now, look, today we're going to talk about a lot of things since we haven't done BBP in a while. We'll recap, a lot of the practices, have some predictions. And of course, you guys stir us whatever way you want once we get about 30 plus minutes into this. But today we're going to start on today's practice, Saturday. Again, we don't get to see it with our eyes. Shout out to anybody and everybody who's going to the live practice tomorrow at the link. Definitely maybe hit me up. Maybe I can get, if you go, maybe you can get you on a StreamYard, blah, blah, blah. We can look at it and you can show everybody because I'm not going to one. So if you are going and you hit me up, maybe we can do a live at that time and do it. But anyways, the offense struggled mightily, according to the beat writers today. Jalen Hurts, the offensive line. And the title is this, was it the offense being really bad or is the defense really that good? I've said multiple times that I think the defense is going to be the strong point of this team. That's not me downplaying the offense, and that's not me saying the defense is going to be top 5. I'm not saying it is or not. I just think the defense is going to be the strongest point of this team. But we struggled. What is y'all takes? We'll start with, anyone who wants to go. How do you feel about the reporting of Jalen Hurts and the struggling offense? Is it something to be overly concerned with for one day of absolute struggle or no?
I guess I can go first, guys. Man, not one day. One day never tells you much of anything. You know what I'm saying? One day is one day. It's more so like you got to watch to see general trends. But the thing is I can only go off of what beat reporters are saying. I can't see it myself. So I can't really know what the read's supposed to be, what the route concepts were. And there's a whole lot of things going on here. Like, number one, it doesn't help that we're already down Isaac Seumalo. We're already down Brandon Brooks. You know what I mean? That's 2 guys right there. LaRaven Clark, who would probably be on second team, he's down. And then you got one of these situations to where you have the offensive line on a cross-training day. So you got Sua Peta taking the reps at left guard on the first team, and you got Nate Herbig taking second-team reps at center. There's a lot of instability along the line right now. I mean, to be honest, Andre Dillard's getting beat left and right. I hate to say it, but I thought we were going to get more out of Dillard than what we've gotten, and it hasn't looked good, man. So I think it's affecting the flow of the offense. Now, what I will say is this. This is a good – I guess there's different ways you can look at it. I think this is a good thing for Hurts because it's easy to win reps when situations are ideal. It's far harder to win reps when your offensive line can't block nobody. Like, that's a hard situation. And we saw that there was we didn't see. We heard there was a sequence of plays where there was 5 plays in a row where Jalen Hurts was off target and basically dirted the balls. And I have to believe that some of that has to do with the fact that the offensive line isn't holding up long enough for him to get his feet set and get the ball out cleanly. I got to feel that that's a big part of it. I've heard some things that make you wonder, but until I can see it on film, I can't diagnose it, guys. But I did hear that, he is somewhat a little bit slower when it comes to breaking down and reading the coverage and getting the ball at his hands. But then again, if your receivers don't separate, It's the same issues we were kind of dealing with, man. I just think the offense is going to be a big work. I think it's more than just Jalen Hurts. There's a lot more going on there, including the fact that we're down receivers too. That's the other thing. Hightower went down today. So now you're really getting to the point where it's like, man, who's even out there taking snaps at receiver? I think all that's kind of playing a part of it.
Man, y'all said it the best, man. It's kind of hard to really judge because we can't see. Y'all all know me. I'm an eye test guy. I look at and I evaluate and I snap or I don't. You know what I mean? But if you hear from one person, that's one thing. If you hear from 5 different beat reporters, something is there. Now, I'm not just talking about today. I'm talking about overall. I'm talking about Andre Dillard getting beat like an African drum out there. And it does have me cause the pause. First of all, is Andre Dillard bad, or is Derek Barnett and Derek Barnett and Josh Sweat just doing their thing? And I just made a video probably like an hour ago. Make sure that y'all go check that out right after you watch this live. But my thing is, it's looking like the defense is going to have to carry us through probably the first, I want to say, 7 games. They're gelling more, and it has nothing to do with the coach. I don't think it has nothing to do with the quarterback. But when you look at a guy in Jonathan Gannon, he has a couple guys on his side that he already coached. You got Eric Wilson coming to his own, and they're saying that Taylor has been bought. They say he's been eye-opening. And I kind of knew from the athleticism, but and then hearing him, shout out to Philly Mike, having him on the page, hearing him talk about not being able to play. But when you look at him, he has the skill sets. It's all about putting everything together like a puzzle. And I think he finally, I'm not going to say found the final piece, but you know how when you start a puzzle, you get the edges together first. You know what I mean? You get that's how I used to put puzzles together. I get the outer things all together first. And I think he's starting to do that. And this dude can be scary. And then when you got Josh Sweat, I think Brandon Graham's still going to hold his own. I think having a system, a defensive system that doesn't have the cornerbacks 10 yards back and a quarterback can just pitch and catch. Like, how many times have we seen in Jim Schwartz's system that it was just pitch and catch because dudes are so bad? A competent quarterback is going to say, oh, yeah, I'm just going to give my guy the eye, and he's going to run a sling. And we were 3rd in pressures last year, but the pressures didn't turn into sacks. And I think that's mainly the reason. It's because of Jim Schwartz's system having these guys play back so much. I think you're going to see a different situation. Go ahead.
We were 3rd in sacks.
I thought we were 3rd in pressures.
I don't know about that. I know we were 3rd in sacks though.
Well, that's even more. But for real, because I've been looking at tape, and I want to apologize to Fletcher Cox. Now, I'm not saying I'm all the way wrong. Yeah. I'm not saying I'm all the way wrong, but having corners covering a guy and that half a second matters so much in football. That's why it's called game of inches. It's been so many times. Derek Barnett, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, even Hargrave have been there for a sack, but the guys is getting it out because it's pitch and catch. He doesn't have to look at another read. He knows what he's looking at before. Nothing changes, and he doesn't have to second think. In this defense, I don't think you're going to see that. I think you're going to see this defensive line eat just because the corners are going to complement. See, we all want the defensive line to complement the corners. Go get the guy. Go get the guy. Go get the guy. We got to understand it works both ways. It works both ways. The corners have to help the defensive ends too, and the defensive line. Because if you don't, and there is that millisecond, that's all it takes. and the ball's out of his hands. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I wanted to elaborate on that. Shout out to Joey Shakes in the building. He said all eyes on Fletch, very important. And we are here, and he's having a great camp. And I think he was nicked up a little bit more than what we expect last year. And I think the corner play played into the defensive line, especially the interior not being able to get there, a game of seconds and inches. But I also want to say this. Yes, as I said, all this all season since we acquired everything we acquired. Well, since we got Steven Nelson, I think the defense is going to be the strong suit. And I think Jalen said it best. You know, the defense we're going to play is going to be a lot of go see ball, go get ball, use our athleticism. The offense is timing and a lot of different things. And the offense has been more nicked up on the O-line with Brandon Brooks, John Hightower, Devontae Smith. So you can't get mad at one horrible practice, but that is what the Eagles beat writers were waiting for. That is what some Eagle fans were waiting for because, you know, shout out to LB. He put up some pictures of Jalen Hurts being 14 to 16 good camps. And right there, now they got something to talk about. Here's the thing. He's a young quarterback. He's going to take his lumps. We got to wait and see how everything transitions. Nick Sirianni with timing and timing routes and leaving these wide receivers run option routes are going to be a little bit more difficult than installing actual plays. You got to really have that connection. And again, Devontae Smith not being there, John Hightower not being there, Quez wasn't there early, Travis Fulgham in and out. The only people that have been there are the tight ends, and you see Hurts is actually getting a great connection with both Ertz and Goddard. So I'm not worried at all at this point. I think in game scenarios, you're going to see the run game via Hurts and the running backs we have to take some pressure off. But that is the big thing. Hurts being consistent. That's what we got to see. And again, at 10 practices, you get one that's really bad. And I do think we're not giving enough credit to this defense. A lot of people are talking about, what's his name? Darius Slay getting beat up a lot because we see this, that, and the third. These 7-on-7s and wide receiver corner drills are meant for the wide receiver to succeed. And a guy like Dave Sendero said, you got to be impressed with the way they're setting it up for the wide receiver to succeed. Darius Slay got some sticky coverage, and in this system, I think he's going to show out to be one of the, top 10-ish type corners. But before I hand it over to Gate, what do you think about the offensive line cross-training? Is that for more just depth at positions, or that to try to see Andre Diller, Jordan Mailata, a Nate Herbig, guys that can fill in first off the bench?
A little bit of everything. A little bit of everything, Mike. Yeah.
Real quick, I forgot about the super chat. My bad. I've been slacking.
Good, bro. Go
Michael Felder with the $10 super chat. You have more vets on this defense that can use their experience on the young offense. Guys are trash and second and third stringers. Relax. Exactly. That sums it up too. You got the guys who need more time on offense, so it's nothing to get crazy about. But go ahead, Steve. I want to hear your thoughts on that offensive line cross training today.
I mean, I'd have to, some of the particulars, we'd have to get somebody like Jalen Williams to really go into depth about how line play works like that. But what I took from it, Mike, is that the way they're going to construct the roster, they're going to want their guards to probably swing tackle. They're going to want their, if a guy can't kick out from guard to tackle, he's going to have to kick in to center. So I think that's just, it's one of those situations to where they want to feel they have adequate depth at any given moment. They saw the film probably from last year. They saw how bad the line played down the stretch. Let's be real. I mean, we lost, almost two football teams worth of, we lost more than two football teams worth of offensive linemen. So, I mean, that plays a big part in stuff like that. But I think that's what's going on because, you had Herbig taking reps at center. Sua Peta, I haven't really seen him play out of position. He just played left guard. So, I mean, that's not weird to me, but it doesn't shock me that you might take a guy like Matt Pryor and kick him out to right tackle, right? So he's going to play guard. He's going to play tackle, right? You'll probably see Driscoll do a lot of that too, where they're going to, they took Driscoll from playing tackle most of camp and kicked him inside this practice to guard. I think that's what's going on, man, is that the guys that can truly show versatility, right, that can show that they can do more than one task are probably going to get, precedence in terms of the back end of the roster and do who you keep. That's what it looks like to me. I think that's why they decided to have this kind of practice today to where, it makes your offense look bad because, things are a little out of sync. But I think Sirianni's looking like, okay, I can lose a practice. I don't want to lose football games.
That's a really good way to put it. I want to get Philly Fresh's thoughts real quick, but shout out to Texas Eagle with the $5 super chat. He said the goats. What up, fellas? Shout out to my guy. Great guy, supports almost every Eagle content creator. Appreciate you for coming in. But how do you feel? Do you think the cross training and the poor line play had something to do with Jalen Hurts' problems and not being able to get the ball down the field as well?
I wouldn't be contradicting myself if I said no. I screamed it all last year. I thought that it was number one, Doug Peterson's fault. Number two, the offensive line, and then number three, the quarterback. And I'm not saying Nick Sirianni is up there because it's practice, but the our offensive line that we have right now is not going to be the one that we start the season with. So we do have to remember that. And that, as much as people love, oh, we got a wide receiver, we got this. If we don't have a functional offensive line, none of that means jack. We just seen it in the Super Bowl. People that they are crowning as the best quarterback that they ever seen with their own two eyes looked at bad. He looked at horrible. He looked at bad. Like for real, he looked at bad. This running back 30 yards to try to complete a 5-yard pass, and it wasn't even being completed because of his offensive line. And this is what we always made our bones on since Jeff Lurie took over the team. And I ain't gonna say since Jeff Lurie took over. I'm gonna say since Andy Reid took over. You had your Runyons. You know what I mean? Like the offensive line has always been a staple point. And last year, me being an Eagles fan as long as I have been, and it's been a long time. Trust me, I'm 38 years old. I never seen an offensive line look like that. Like it was horrible last year. And it has to get better. But I think that Nick Sirianni is not the kind of guy that cares about what you're getting paid, how long you've been here, how much, like where you was drafted. I don't think he care about none of that. Who is going to give me the best show out there? Because we all know, first of all, Jordan Mailata should be better than what he is right now, just with experience. You don't yank that dude when he was in the zone and put Jason Peterson. And it's messed up, but at the same time, it's also a hungry thing that can come for a guy like Jordan Mailata. You know what I mean? Landon Dickerson is an upgrade, but I don't want Landon Dickerson to play this year. That's just my personal opinion. I need him to sit out till he's 100%. Come back when he's 100%. Asa Salamalu, I don't know exactly how long he's going to be out. Brandon Brooks should be back week 1. I'm not sure. Lane Johnson, are you 100%? You know what I mean? And we got guys like, what's his name, Jack Driscoll. I like him. So we have bodies, but you got to put it together. And I'm not going to overreact by one practice. But here's what I can say. It looked like Andre Dillard. I'm not going to say he's always a first-round draft pick. They're going to keep him on the roster. I would try to put him at guard, try to do something with him. But he is not a left tackle from what I'm hearing. He is not a left tackle. You can't put this dude out there if he's timid and if he can't hold his own. You got to go with Jordan Mailata. You know what I mean? And try to plug him in at guard, having a swing guard or something, you know, because you're not just going to give up on a first-round pick. This is his 3rd season. So I get that. But at the same time, we're talking about protecting your quarterback. He's not a $100 million man or whatever the case may be, but he's still your quarterback. This is your quarterback that you need to protect. And we failed to do that last year, and you cannot miss on you cannot do it again. You cannot do it again. So, like I said, I'm not going to overreact to one practice. And I do feel as though this defensive line is ferocious. Like you said, Mike, we was 3rd in sacks last year. And the defensive line, who has really changed? Nobody has changed except for Malik Jackson being gone. Everybody's still here. So you
and
do
better.
That's what I'm saying. So you do got to get at some respect, but at the same time, you got to protect your quarterback. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I think you both guys. I think both of you said it the best. I like how Gate also talked about, the cross training. You rather lose a practice than lose a game that is very important, especially early games. Every game is important for the NFL season. We got an extra game, but it's not like MLB or NBA where there's 80 or 100 games where you can lose 2 or 3 in a row and it doesn't matter early in the season. But yeah, so Jalen Hurts having a bad game, complemented by the offensive line struggles, but not necessarily the guys we're going to put out there week 1. The cross training, you know what I mean? If you are a forklift driver at your job and this guy's a Packer, if you switch jobs, you're probably not going to be as good at it. You know what I mean? So that is a wasted practice, as some people might say, but it's better than being caught in a blunder throughout the season. If you see a Lane Brooks go down and you got to throw in some cross train guys, so it's always good. Again, Jalen Hurts will have his struggles just because of being a young quarterback and adjusting to the NFL, because we saw him come out of games really hot and not being able to finish the same way in the second halves. We saw some teams change the way they play him with tape and all that. But I do think he has all the mental tools to try to be better. He's a baller. He's one of them guys who's a baller, a playmaker. It might not always be pretty, but I think he's going to be able to get the job done. And I do like what we did around him.
Can I say something real fast, Mike? I need everybody to be patient, because we do have to understand this kid is going through his 4th offensive system in 4 years. Think about that. He was in Alabama, then he went to Oklahoma, then he came here, and now he's here again on another. So every year he got to learn a whole new system.
That's true.
Gates, you was a quarterback. How hard is that? Just touch on that real fast. How hard is that?
It's very difficult depending on the complexity of the offense.
Right.
And, Nick Sirianni's out there quizzing guys. That was the other thing that was coming out. Yeah. Pop quizzing guys. He's talking about take out a sheet of paper and get a pencil. It's a pop quiz.
Gate, from being a quarterback and being actually coaching and watching players for so long, how do you like the way that Nick Sirianni's running the practices with charts, tallying things, being really hands-on? Like, look, you make a mistake, you can wait until the practice is over. A big mistake, go out there and tell them. But little mistakes, normally you wait until the practice is over. You diagnose it in the video room, in the film room. How do you like him stopping plays, being all on the players and holding people accountable? How do you feel about that part of training camp?
To me, it resonates, Mike, just because, my players just always say, you're the nicest teacher in the world. You're one of the meanest coaches I ever had to play for. And it's the way it is, it's just the way I approach things, because I'd rather be hard on you in practice and let you know where you're making a mistake than to have you get out there in front of an entire town worth of people piled into a stadium looking at you awful funny when you start making simple mistakes that they can pick up on. So, I always coach my guys really hard. I told you the story one time, Mike, that I had a young man that started crying because I raised my voice to him, and there was a little shorty out there he wanted to holler at, and I embarrassed him in front of her. Dude was dropping tears, holding on yards.
Don't do that to him. Don't do that to him. It's no, go ahead.
So, I resonate with the stop. Here's my thing. How can you go forward in a practice if guys don't understand the concept? Because it's just going to keep compounding. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse until you understand the basic tenets of the offense. And I'm in favor of Nick Sirianni quizzing guys about the playbook. Hey, what's up, man? Hey, tell me, if we're running, triple floods, right? And I got number 31s back here, and he falls back deep in his set. Where's the ball supposed to go? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them knowing where the ball's supposed to go. I'm okay with them doing that kind of stuff. But I think you got to be careful with the over analytic stuff when it comes to charts and graphs with certain players, right? Certain players will resonate to that. Other players are like, come on, bro. I'm out of college. I want to do all this. You got to find another way to get your point across without being over analytical with them. So you got to find a way of like, hey man, when you cut back, you know how you lost your foot in there? Hey man, why don't you try changing up them cleats? Like you got to find another way of approaching it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's different ways of approaching things, right? You can't get over, if you go and you tell this guy a long story about some random game back in 1980 where the dude had the wrong cleats on for the wrong weather condition, you might lose them a quarter way into the story. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you just got to know the personality of the people you're dealing with and when to carry on something, when to pull it back a little bit, stuff like that. But generally when it comes down to like keeping people, responsible, I think Nick Sirianni's onto something. Like I think he's the real deal. Like he's not playing around. If you're not where you're supposed to be, if you're not executing the play the right way, you're gonna have to come talk to him. He's gonna want to know what's going on. And I mean, some guys.
And you know who that reminds me of? It is different concepts, but the same out. It should be the same outcome and the same reasoning of doing it. It's Bill Belichick when it comes to defense. Bill Belichick is a technician, and you're supposed to be where the heck you're supposed to be. This defense is predicated on you being where you need to be and doing it the right way. And I do feel as though Nick Sirianni is trying to bring that culture into it, but had to be competitive at the same time with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. With everything that he does, and might be laughing and joking, and like you got the guy in the first practice wearing a Kelsey shirt. You know what I mean? Like. So he's embracing the team, and I do feel as though they are embracing him back. I have heard nothing but good things out of players, but of course that's what they all going to do. Yeah, that's what they all going to do. But you can tell sometimes when somebody is like, yeah, and you like, yo, you're lying, dude. I haven't really seen an interview where people talk about him and they're like, not excited. Like it seemed like everybody's excited to the way he's bringing it, the way he is making everybody practice and stay on their toes, basically.
Yeah.
Because to me, I think he going in there saying, your job is up for grabs. We've seen that Jalen Hurts hasn't been named number one quarterback already. I don't know why, but that might be. Even my quarterback has to fight for his job. Everybody on their toes. I don't care who you are. And I ain't got no problem with that. May the best man win. And that's how it always should be with me. But real fast, I got a question for y'all. Are y'all alarmed? Y'all know the position I played. So are y'all alarmed with Miles Sanders dropping so many passes I've been hearing?
It's definitely concerning because I think well, I don't think we've heard reports that Sirianni's offense is going to utilize the running back. Exactly. They're going to throw passes to the running back. Steve loves that they're bringing in speed 21, speed 21, however you want to say it. You're going to have pass catching backs back there where Hurts, and I think that's going to be scary for any defense to know that Hurts is vicious with his legs. They will have designed quarterback runs, and you got two scat back type players who can run the ball well, can get outside and catch the ball in a Gainwell and Sanders or a Huntley and Sanders. But yes, Sanders got to catch the ball. He said today in his press conference, I got to get back to doing what I did to my rookie season where he was catching the ball at a very high rate. I think it's concerning. You see him on the jug machine. He has to get it out of his head. I think it's in his head, and that can go a long way. But just to the accountability point.
You just said it right there. You said it right there.
It's his head, right?
It's in his head. It's psychosomatic. It's all in his head. It's all in his head, man. Because, a lot of people, you know this, Reese, about hand and eye coordination, playing running back, catching those balls out in the flat.
Or trying to do too much. Trying to do too much before you even get the football in your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're looking at the play ahead of schedule instead of completing the process.
And you know who used to do that? Nelson Aguilar.
Yeah.
I'm not comparing them to. Come on, now, I'm not comparing them to. I'm just saying the dude has talent, but it was in his head that he had to make this play, and he was doing it trying to do it before he even had a firm grip on a football.
Yeah,
it's levels to doing things. Number one, grab the ball. Number two, protect yourself. Number three, protect the football. Number four, make the moves that you need to make. And after that, hopefully touchdown. Number five. But you have to do these things in sequences. This is how I was taught. Those were the 5 things that I was taught. And he needs to go to the basics and get back to himself saying, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. Ain't nobody last year had more longer runs than me. I had 375-yard Jones? Like I can be an elite running back. They got me Drew Drones. I can't remember the dude name, man. Number 32, short dude, man.
Yeah, Mighty Mouse, Maurice Drew Jones.
Maurice Drew Jones. I hate that he got my name. But anyway, the fact of the matter is he got this dude like 27th, something like that. So prove yourself, but at the same time, be true to yourself. Be true to who you are. What made you good at Pittsburgh? Watched you at Pittsburgh. What made you good your rookie year? What made you good last year? Do those things and you will be fine, especially in this offense, I think. I think that he can be a major part in this offense because I do think it's going to be 3 running backs. You know what I mean? I'm not sure exactly where Jordan Howard is going to fit. But I do think that they will use him in short downs, 4th inches or 3rd downs and all that. But the other running backs that we got, like when you look at it, man, you out there fighting. That's where it goes down to.
Yeah.
Still, you're out there fighting, and you can't let that get in your head, man.
Yeah. So there was a couple comments in here I wanted to tackle because it was leading into what I was getting into, which was Philly B in an Are You Awake said the same thing basically, and it was where I was going with the point, which is how players are responding to Sirianni's kind of tough-natured coaching. You know, Huntley early on in camp was really, really the center of Sirianni's attention because he wasn't hitting his drops correctly in the receiving game. And Sirianni was all over him early in camp. The last 5 to 7 days, Huntley has dominated the narrative because of how well he's playing. You know, Jalen Reagor gets taken apart by Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni, comes back the next day and probably makes the highlight catch of camp.
Accountability.
It's
going to be a huge thing, man.
That catch is crazy. Yo, you know how many people sent me that catch, man?
Yeah.
That catch is crazy.
But,
I like that.
But we're and as Gage just said, we're seeing it in such a short sample size that development has been a problem for the Eagles. I still love Doug Peterson to death for what he's done with the Super Bowl. But at the end of the day, player development under his staff has been stagnant. We've seen already Jalen Reagor come and fail his conditioning test, have a horrible practice, and follow it up with accountability, tough coaching, the right coaching with a good practice. I'm not saying he's a Pro Bowl player or nothing. As Gates said, Jason Huntley was talked about for not doing what he needed to do in the pass game and in the run game with his foot cuts and all that stuff. He gets some time with the coaching staff, and now he's been a hot commodity. They're talking about him making the team, possibly this, that, and the third. And it's just short things we've seen. Adrian Killins working almost extensively with the wide receivers, where Doug Peterson wanted him to be a running back. Nick Sirianni and this developmental coaching staff says, no. We'll try him here, and it's looking good because he burnt Avonte Maddox today. I mean, who can't? I'm just kidding. He burnt Avonte Maddox for a long touchdown today. I know I had to throw a little shot. I'm just kidding. But yeah,
but you know that's the right guy to beat though.
It looked like McPherson might take that job.
He's looking nice.
Yeah, I think McPherson they're playing him outside though. I think it's the one he's got to be careful of is Josiah Scott. Josiah Scott's playing pretty well, and he's a nickel. You know, he was another one.
I know who he is, but I haven't heard about him in camp yet.
Oh no, he's been he's been picking balls off and everything. Yeah, he's been Yeah, he's been around the football a lot. Yeah, I think it's going to be a heck of a battle, actually, for the back end of the roster at corner because, I mean, right now, I'd say that you got four known probably commodities. Well, I'd say you got three guys are going to make the team. And, you got Darius Slay, you got Steven Nelson, you got McPherson. Those three are making the team at corner. And then you're kind of, it's a little up against the wall with who's next. But I got to be honest, you look at guys like Josiah Scott. Josiah Scott's had a really good camp, right? You look at guys like Craig James. Craig James is a guy who's a really good special teams contributor, and he's got inside-outside flexibility. You got Michael Jaquette, who has the physical makeup to be, a guy that you can put out there in the red zone against a tall receiver.
I've been hearing good things about him too. I've been hearing good things about Jaquette, but we all know what happened to him. They put him out there, they put him out there as a sacrifice goat, man.
Yeah, they did, bro. They did him wrong in Dallas, man. They did him real wrong.
They was picking on that dude, man. You get a catch, They was like Oprah out that job, man. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was Jim Schwartz, man. I mean, at some point, bro, I know you don't have a lot of safety left, but you got to give safety help over there, man. What? No,
you gotta do something. Gotta do something, man. Go ahead, Mike.
No. So I know, Steve, I don't know if you talked about this early in your stream last night, but I saw the title of it, and I kind of want to transition to about the restructuring Lane and Barnett, like what we're going to do with the money. I don't know why I can't talk today. But before we do that, we are live on 3 channels, the Philly Talk Podcast, Gate City Sports Channel, and Philly Fresh. If you haven't checked out one of the other content creators' work, do me a favor. After this video, keep it in mind, go search them up, watch what they do, and hit that subscribe button. Again, live on 3 channels. We have 211 people total watching. Now, again, you might look in your chat and it might, but across the 3 platforms, 211. Preseason's here. Before the preseason starts or even before the season starts, we freed up some money. Do you think it's just for using it if somebody gets cut that's worthwhile from another team? Or do you think the Eagles are just going to roll over into 2022 season with it? Or could we even use that for an extension for Dallas Goedert? What do you think the money that's freed up's for, if you have any hunch?
I mean, you never really being freed up for other than the fact that they will need some cap flexibility just for the, just the way that everything kind of goes for a season. I think the bigger problem we're going to have, Mike, is 2022, because I think it was Paul was talking to me earlier in chats. We were kind of talking back and forth, and the NFL did come out apparently and say that the cap for 2022 will not exceed 208. So we don't know if it's going to be 208, but just a little math here, guys. For this year, it was only 182.5. So if it's 208, we're talking more than a $20 million increase, which would be very beneficial for the Eagles. So I do think you need some of that money to go over, but I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibility that they don't use a little bit of money to sign a veteran guy to come in and compete at something like receiver or wherever they feel that there's a need, because, Sirianni's going to want to compete, man. For a coach, people forget your rookie year. They forget that, like you didn't have a great talented roster. 4 or 5 years from now, all they do is they look back and they see your record. Everybody forgets the context. So for him, he wants the context to be really good. So, I think he wants to compete right now.
Fresh, you think you have any idea what they want to use that with, or just rock out with it?
I think Howie do got set up his sleeve. I'm not saying Howie has never been a scared person. He goes out there what he can and does what he can. Me personally, I'm looking at Larry Fitzgerald. Man, and I was going to make a video about this a couple days, but I've just been busy as heck at work. The restructure to me is a veteran wide receiver, and that kind of guy doesn't just help on the field. He helps in your locker room. He's a stand-up dude. You hear nothing but good things about the dude. Been in the game, 13, 14 years. Can play the slot, play the outside, and they asked him to go to the slot. He didn't make no huss, no fuss. He didn't do like Antonio Brown. He didn't do none of that diva stuff. You want me to play the slot? They said he called Shannon Sharp. This is what Shannon Sharp says. He called Shannon Sharp like, yo, like they trying to make me move to the slot. What should I do? He like, well, excel there. And he did that. Been to a Super Bowl, did not win, beat us in the net, in the whatchamacallit, in the what's it called?
NFC Championship game.
Championship, if y'all remember. And
I remember it.
He gave us the business.
Man, that was a good game.
We were getting mauled left and right. We couldn't stop.
My God. Yeah.
That was what, 12 years ago. What was that, 2010? That was
D-Jack's like rookie year, wasn't it? No, there was
9-10 season.
9-10, I think. Yeah, I think it was D-Jack's rookie year.
No, that was 2010. That was 2010.
2010 was the Mike Vick experience. It was the 8-9 season. 2008, 2009.
Okay, you're right.
Because McNabb was still a quarterback. It was the last
dream team, right? 2010 or 2011 was the dream
12
team.
was the dream team.
12 was the dream.
Okay.
Yeah.
But,
that was the nightmare. That was the nightmare, bro.
The nightmare. Yeah, but in all seriousness, he brings, and he can teach a guy like Reagor how to not just be on the field, but off the field too. And it helps. Like, it's no downfall in bringing Larry Fitzgerald. First of all, I don't think that he would start, but if he does, that means Reagor, you got to step your freaking game up, because I think Reagor should be in the slot. So if he starts, Reagor, you got to bring your game up, and that might help him, or it could break him down. We all know we done seen players come here and another player come here for their position and they fold under pressure. We already know that can happen.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul, I take Michael
Gallup. We have no veterans. Our oldest guy is what? Greg Ward?
Yeah.
Greg Ward?
Yeah, it sounds about right. Yeah.
So let me.
Also, you know, it's funny, Reese. It might be Greg Ward and then Hightower.
What?
Because Hightower was an
oldest. Like Greg Ward is our oldest. I was saying that before. I don't know what the heck just happened, but I was saying Greg Ward is our oldest receiver, and that's kind of. And I've been saying that for a while. Like, that's kind of scary to me. That has so many young guys and we have no veteran wide receivers for real.
That's it.
So to me, I get Larry Fitzgerald, man.
That wouldn't be a bad idea for like a bridge. You know, we have bridge quarterbacks. You can get a bridge wide receiver to just instill wisdom. I mean, look, a guy like Larry Fitzgerald, who's a technician out route running, if he's in Devontae Smith's ear, a guy who's already pretty darn good and savvy with footwork, you're talking about Larry Fitzgerald just schooling them for 17 weeks.
And your quarterback, help your quarterback too.
Correct. Yeah. That pays off right there. But I do want to ask you guys this, because I talked about it yesterday in my live streams. James Washington, wide receiver for the Steelers, asked for a trade. Now, you know, he was drafted. He had a lot of upside in the second round in 2018. He can do a lot of things, but now after keeping Juju, drafting Claypool, who's a stud, and that Johnson guy who broke out, if you were playing fantasy, you picked him up probably, or you drafted him late. He was a great steal. He's the fourth guy. Now, he probably wants to go to a team to be a 2 or a 3. I don't think he could be that, but what would be your take on Washington? I think he's 25 years old. He's still young. He's not the veteran guy like a Larry Fitz or a Golden Tate would be. But what is your take on that?
I think he's a guy you bring in to push Reagor. They're similar physically. Washington's built a little bigger than Reagor is. Reagor right now is mid 190s. Washington's a little over 200 pounds. But they're physically very similar. You know, Reagor probably a little bit more athletic, a little faster, jumps a little higher. But, you know, they're these shorter guys that play physical, that play outside. Both of them have inside capability. Both of them have been asked to play inside a little bit. I think that's a guy you get to send a message to Reagor. But by the way, you know, Washington, 2019, he had a pretty good year with like 40-some receptions, like 700 yards. But, you know, he got buried with all those wide receivers last year. And his rookie year was a little unspectacular, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think he's a good guy to kind of, you know, look, he's a young piece. I still think you're taking a gamble. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think that's a proven, you know what I'm saying, guy. But I don't think that he would necessarily be incredibly expensive, though, either.
Fresh?
You're
like, nope.
I ain't saying no, but what we talking? What we gotta give up for the dude? Like, you know what I mean? Like, to me, I think Larry Fitzgerald is just a better situation. You don't got to give up nothing except for the money that he wants. He's a free agent. You know what I mean? I do like the dude's physical abilities, and I do think that they, especially in this, and if the offense that I think that he's going to run, Nick Sirianni, I mean, is to where as though we're going to get you the ball in open space and you go make a play.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the offense, that dude could definitely flourish in this offense. He has physical ability. He has speed, shiftiness. I did watch a little bit of tape on him when they started talking about it, especially after you put up your video. Shout out to you, Mike. I like what I see, but still not what I want. That's what I'm gonna say. I do like what I see, though.
Sure.
I gotta just ask you guys this real quick, and everybody in the chat. And if you two didn't, I'm gonna send it to you. And this is nothing to do with the Eagles, but I just thought about it again, and I started laughing. Did y'all see the Jameis Winston trying to run through the pass video?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, Mike. Yeah.
Oh, y'all gotta send that to me. I don't even know what
I might have watched that like 25 times in a loop, man. It was hilarious. And if you guys haven't watched it in the chat, I just posted it on my Twitter.
What is it?
So two players, I don't know what position they are. They run through the two pads. You know that drill where you run through the pads with the ball, and they ran through it fine. And Jameis Winston, being a quarterback, just tried to do it for fun, and he got hit stick by the pad. And it's just hilarious. You got to see it. I'll send it to you after this. It's funny.
It's on your Twitter. I'm about to watch it there.
Yeah. But go ahead, Gate.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, it's kind of tough at wide receiver just because like we're down so many guys that it's, you know what I mean? Like here's the first thing that I look at, Mike. When I'm hearing these reports, what I don't see reported is the nature of the drill. What are the concepts being run? What's the execution? All you're telling me is this person didn't complete the pass. Well, you do run drills to set the defense up because you're practicing something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that, some of that stuff, that context gets left out. And I don't know, because I'm just like you guys, like we're just sitting here reading some other guy's report that, look, they might be around football a long time. That doesn't mean they really understand the game that much. That's the thing. Like, I don't know how much they really know about the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's differences. You get a guy like Bo Wolf who breaks down film. He's probably going to give you a far more in-depth analysis of that play than this guy missed a completion. This guy dropped the pass. He's going to go into far more detail than that. You know what I mean? Like, not every person, not every reporter is created equal. I think that's part of the problem. But it's hard to say, man. I mean, the one thing we'll say is we'll know by the 12th, right? I think that's our first preseason game's the 12th. So we'll know on the 12th, because I got a feeling that Jalen Hurts will be playing on the 12th.
Let me ask you this. How much do you think Jalen Hurts will play all through the preseason? I'm talking all 4 games. You think he plays every game and more than what you think another starting quarterback who's a veteran, like a Matthew Stafford who's not playing? Because Sean McVay came out and said it. He won't play none of them. Do you think we're going to give Hurts an extensive look in the preseason?
I think they will, especially the game. I think the second game he's going to get a lot of play just because Nick Mullins has the shoulder thing going on. So he had surgery. So I don't know, he can't really, right now, he can't even really push the ball down the field. So, I mean, they'll probably still.
Is Nick Mullins even the number 2?
He was the one who threw that pass to Reagor, just to let you know.
Yeah.
Mullins was the one to throw that pass to Reagor, that Reagor one hand, just a sec.
Mullins, don't tell Vic 3 that, man.
Why? What did Vic 3 say?
He's big Nick. He's a big Nick Mullins guy.
Oh yeah.
But no, I mean, he's
That's
accurate.
why he lost on fantasy football.
Yeah, he's accurate. He plays on time to the offense. He's a true West Coast offense type of quarterback. But we saw what happened to Nick Mullins when you put pressure on him. When we put pressure on him in that San Francisco game, man, he fell apart. It was bad. And he played really bad against us in that game. Then you got a guy that's like, I don't know. Flacco's younger than me, so I can't call him 99 years old, because what's that make me, like 104? But but Flacco's an older guy. I mean, he was 36 or so, somewhere in that area, right? 36, 37-ish, somewhere in that area, I think. He's coming back. He had neck surgery the year prior that caused him to miss some games with the Jets. I mean, Flacco's got a good arm. Flacco can sling the ball with the best of anyone in the league. I mean, dude can. There's no doubt about it. But I will say this. Yeah,
I can't remember who it was. Somebody said he didn't. I meant to grind him up about it, but I can't remember who it was.
No, Flacco can throw. Flacco got an arm. There's no doubt about it.
I know.
Yeah, but the thing with Flacco is the same thing that we would say about Jalen Hurts was the knock on him for a lot of his career, right? He's not a guy that likes to play on time with the offense. He's always looking to win the rep, trying to get deep, trying to push the ball vertically. He's not always that guy that, you can go look at all of his underlying, analytics behind his play, and you can see that he's a downfield passer. That's what he is. He's more of that, that Doug Peterson style offense. That's what he is. I don't know, man. I mean, Nick Mullins is the only true West Coast, guy here, but I think Hurts is going to play a lot, Mike, in game one. I think you got to play him at least a quarter. You got to get him some serious reps, man. This is not an established veteran. So you're going to have to get him some actual in-game looks. Now, I will say this, Mike. I think it'll be far more important the joint practices. What Hurts does in those joint practices against, I think it's the Patriots and the Jets, right? We have the joint practices against.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the far better indicator of where he is in development. You get what I mean? Like preseason games, like it's really generic what you're doing. It's all, we just get excited because we want football, we'll take it in any form, honestly, but I don't know.
Yeah. Shout out to Marcus D Gaff, man. That's what we asked, man. That's all we asked. We won't ask for too much, man. My man said went through all three of y'all streams and hit the like, man. That's all we ask, man. It take you a millisecond just to hit the like. You know what I mean? I appreciate every last one of y'all.
And it's free.
It's free, man. Well, I appreciate every last one of y'all that did it, man. All right, so what are you asking me, Mike? You're asking me how much time Jalen Hurts gonna play in the second game?
Well, just throughout the preseason, in general.
I don't know. It's only 3 now, right? Correct. It's only 3, right?
Only 3. Yep.
Why are you looking at me like that, Mike? I said something.
Because I totally forgot. I forgot. I was about to say no, and I was like, oh yeah, it is. It's weird.
So we got to take that into accountability. That it's only 3. And now the third one, whoever is the number 1 quarterback probably won't play. So with that being said, I think he plays 3 quarters in the second game.
Ooh,
I do. The second game is who? Said the Patriots?
I think so. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, I think he plays. I think he plays after half. All right, I ain't gonna say 3. I'm gonna say a drive after halftime. Halftime, first and second quarter, and a drive after halftime. That's what I'm gonna say. Had to be specific, know.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I think he's gonna get a little bit more time than a normal, starting quarterback. Hopefully, he's a tough guy. Hopefully, nothing happens again. Injuries have plagued the Eagles for years, and hopefully, it's called an injury bug because it's supposed to eventually leave your team. It hasn't left us, so my God, it's not called a bug right now. But I do want to get into a little bit of the roster because, each preseason game cuts. And Eagle Has Landed did ask it as well. Who's a dark horse player to make the 53-man roster? If you guys have one or you're still thinking of one.
Is it 53? I thought it went up.
So far, I'm hearing 53, but I don't know. It might have. They might. Yeah. So, Reese, they might put in effect what they did last year to where they expand the practice squad and then give you the 2 actives you can call up, maybe. I don't. I gotta go.
Okay. But it is still 53.
Yeah, it's an initial 53. Yeah,
that's bullcrap. You give out another game and you can't extend the roster.
Yeah, expand the roster.
Yeah, I got to go through and look at it, man, because everybody, same thing, man. I heard that we might have as many as 60, and then I heard it was a solid 53. I was like, man, they're all over the place with these estimates.
All right, my bad, Mike. Ask the question again. My bad. I didn't
Dark
know.
dark horse player to make the 53. Whoever wants to go first.
What?
I'll go. You want dark horse?
Yeah.
Define. Okay, before we get into this, because I don't want to disappoint anybody, define what you mean by a dark horse candidate. How unlikely does it need to be?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, let's just say, yeah, it's hard to describe the dark horse. Just somebody who the average person
Basically, somebody that wasn't drafted.
All right. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I'll give you guys I'll give you one. I'll give you one that like no one's gonna see this one coming. Y'all ready for this? JJ
Yeah. First of all, listen, we've had a lot of people come in with their names. Like we had Jim Schwartz, we had, Jalen Hurts, Carson Wentz. We always have people who named it, but this is the first person I ever see. And maybe it's one of the people who always hear, but to name themselves JJ.
Hang on. All right, so I already got Jalen putting restrictions on who I can name. He said I can't name the guard from Buffalo. All right,
man,
so
name who you want to name, man. Jalen.
All right, this is what I'll say. Eagles will go. All right, I'll make a prediction. The Eagles will only carry 2 quarterbacks on the active roster. They will carry somebody on the practice squad as a third quarterback, which is going to open a roster spot. I'm going to say that they don't use that extra roster spot at wide receiver. And I'm going to say that because the way they're utilizing the running backs and the fact that you can get so much versatility out of guys like Jason Huntley as your kick returner, using him in the slot, using him as a running back, I'm going to say Jason Huntley. Jason Huntley, I think, has a legit
man.
You all want me to give you another one?
No, I don't want to give you another one because you probably
traitor.
You thief.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I gotta protect my pen when I'm putting my card in, man. You a thief, man. You know what I mean? Wow, damn, you gotta give me a second now. Can I say McPherson? Like,
you think there's a chance that a 4th round pick would get cut? You said people we didn't draft.
Yeah, I did, man. He just threw me off with that, man. Hold on. Let me think. All
right, I'll go real quick.
All right,
I wanted Huntley as well because I think he's really showing. And if he makes a team over a Kerryon Johnson or a Boston Scott or a Jordan Howard, that's huge. And he's good. Now I do like the Tyrese Jackson Tyree Jackson, the 6'7", 250 tight end. But as long as Ertz is on the team, then you got Goddard, and I think Richard Rodgers is there. I think him falling to the practice squad. So I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna give a couple people in the chat what they want. Especially if Notion was here, he'd be very happy. And I'm gonna say Adrian Killins, not as a running back, but he makes it as a wide receiver.
Don't give him hope, Mike. Don't give him hope.
Over JJ He's getting extensive work with the receivers, solely with the receivers. That's what they want him to be. You know what I mean?
Oh, man. Wow.
I didn't think no one was going to say Huntley. I was surprised that not only Steve said it, that you wanted it too.
Yeah, that was my guy. I'm gonna go with Richard Rodgers. I'm gonna go with Richard Rodgers. Just out of default. I don't because I set the bar and it had to be somebody that we didn't draft or whatever the case may be. I don't really know too many people that's going to make the team. I wish Grimes was still here. I definitely would have picked him. Whatever happened to him? Like what's going on?
He got injured. He got injured.
I know he got hurt. Yeah. Brought him back while he was still hurt, and then they let him go again.
Yeah.
So do we still have claims to him, or like what's going on with that?
Well, technically, anyone in the league could claim him at this point. Could work a contract out with him, not claim him, but work a contract out with him. I don't think anyone will until the injuries, until they have
had
more
so
information.
much hope for that dude, man.
Mm-hmm.
I still do. No matter where you go, that dude's a killer. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Like you watch the tape of that dude and you can't stop watching. The dude is a beast, man. But he's not here, so like I said, I'm gonna have to go with Greg Ward. Greg Ward's my dark horse. Greg Ward is my dark horse. Yep.
He's been our best receiver for the last 3 years.
I don't give a damn. He's still a practice squad guy. You know,
they ain't like JJ Arcega-Whiteside, so I'll give him another dark horse. All right, Andre Dillard.
All right, so
crazy
no,
that we got.
This is a good one. Let's look at dark. Who is a player that has been on the roster or who a lot of people think is safe, who has a chance to get cut? So who's that guy that won't make the team that a lot of people think will make
that after I already said Andre Dillard?
Yeah. That's what brought me into it.
Andre getting cut.
I know. He'll get traded.
I think he could get cut. I think he could get cut because there's no versatility. He can only really play the left side. I don't know that he's a swing tackle. I don't know if he'll be cut per se. He might be one of those guys that we just take any trade offer we can receive for him. But I don't think he's a lock on this roster at this point. I mean, I get what you're saying. Reese is a first-round pick. They're going to try to make every excuse in the world to keep him here. I get it. He's also like one of our 10 highest-paid players, I think.
Roseman is not giving up no first-round pick, bro.
He only played 1 year, too, because he was injured all last year. Like,
is a lock to be on the Philadelphia Eagles. A lock. You hear me? Lock and key. As a matter of fact, throw the key away. He's a lock. Steve, you know that. Like, come on, Steve, don't do that.
I don't know, man. I think they're just looking at it. I think what they're going to do with Howie is say, like,
they're trying to put him on the field some type of way, and if they can get any value from him, then they're going to try to do that. They're not throwing away a first round pick, bro. They're not just giving up on it. They're not going to do that. You got a super chat in there too, Mike.
This is a good question, too. Shout out to Mazda Funk Watkins. Love that name. With the $4.99 super chat. He said, any concerns over the short practices? And Miles Sanders was asked that, and a lot of people got asked that today. These practices are a little chippy and intense, but they're shorter. They're like an hour and a half, an hour, compared to the 2-3 hour practices in the past for the Eagles. What are your thoughts on practice being shorter for the Eagles in this new tenure?
I'm gonna go first this time, because I hate to say it, but I'm kind of from the old school, and I listen to Ike Reese talk about having 2 to 3 practices a day, having night practices, but you can't do that with the new what is it, CDM or what's it called, CD whatever it's called. You can't do that with the new rules that they got. And these players made that rules because they're more Hollywood. They get paid more. They don't want to be in the position to practice so long. They get hurt or whatever the case may be. But when you got a guy like I said, like Ike Reese, and he talked about these practices that they had, these two a days, 3 a days, like it's going to get shorter and shorter and shorter every year. I don't know if it's just the Eagles that shorten their practice because I don't follow too many other teams, obviously. You know what I mean? But what I can say is this is what it is, and it's not going to stop. These players are being more of a diva, number one. Number two, they're signing these contracts to shorten things. They're signing these CBA. They're signing these contracts to shorten more things, to do this, do that, all to get money. Everybody wants to get money, and I ain't got no problem with that. You damn sure I want to get money. You kidding me? But at the same time, it is helping the product. It's all about the bottom line now. Like when you came to the vet in the 90s, it wasn't about the bottom line. It was about you come here, you walk out with your freaking head down. Even if you won, you better not say you won until you get home. But now I'm not saying it's softer, but at the same time, it's about the money. It's about finesse. It's not about strength. It's not about takeover. It's about finesse and the bottom line. So I'm not saying I ain't got a problem with it, but this is just the way it is right now. This is the way it is. I mean, you got a dude in Kevin Durant that just got $50 million a year. $50 million a year. A basketball player, bro. You're getting baseball money. So it's not just football, it's every sport. Every year is going to get softer. You know what I mean? And it's crazy that the softer it gets, the more injuries we see. I don't know how I don't know if y'all people, but I do. Like these stars are getting more injured every year because they're not practicing hard or they're scared to have practice and get hurt in practice, but then they're not really physically, like your tendons and your bones are not really physically in strength when it come to game time, because people ain't playing in game time. And that's when you see these injuries, because these dudes, they really not physically prepared to go on the field because they didn't practice how you're going to practice in the game. Go ahead, Charles.
I would just say it's I don't know, the reasoning they give is because they want to expose players to the likelihood of having less injuries. I mean, there's all kinds of arguments around that, like Reese just kind of said. My thing is that, looking at it from a coaching perspective as a coach, if you're installing a new system and you got a new group of guys, you have a young football team and you're only getting hour to an hour and a half of field time, that means that primarily you're educating your players through film and through meeting rooms, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, personally, I like to have a little bit more field time, even if it's not, going full out, after each other, like a full padded practice. Like I'd like to have at least walkthroughs or something I could do to get them in the right spots, get them to know exactly where I want them in their depths for their drops. I would want that time to do all those things. And I just feel like it's really difficult to do that in the time frame that they're allotting right now. So I mean that because we practice a lot longer than that. I can be honest with you. Even in high school, we practice more than that.
I agree with that. Hey, Chris Perez, I definitely appreciate all your comments, but you're wrong on that one. Injuries are not down, especially the star players. Star players are getting injured more than they have ever been. Like, just look at the last couple of years. You got Dak Prescott. You got Christian McCaffrey. You got Saquon Barkley. Carson Wentz, obviously. You got like the what happened?
I just made a little sound for Carson Wentz because I don't know if I can put him up in the star.
First of all, Carson Wentz has been a star. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't
dancing with the stars.
I don't know what that means, but anyway.
No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Like Chris, you gotta understand, like these stars are getting hurt at a high level. Like not just like hurt for a couple of weeks, season-ending injuries, man. Like that wasn't happening in the 90s and in the early 2000s. Like dudes was getting hurt, but not at this clip. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so my response to this is I'm a little concerned, physically, pads on all the time, doing live hitting drills. If you want to prevent the injury thing and all that, you can just be a little less physical, but grass time is grass time. Chemistry is chemistry. And an hour a day, like you said, I mean, middle schoolers and high schoolers practice for an hour and some change. You know what I mean? I got to be home and do homework. You know what I mean? Before the end of the day. So I just think the time is concerning. I like how Nick is doing it. He's interrupting practices to correct him right then and there on the grass. He's doing charts. He's really hands-on. But you got to do it for longer. And look, I'm going to criticize things when I think they need to be criticized, and I'm going to, talk highly about things when I think they're in a good light. And I do not like the time. I do not like how we only practice for an hour. I mean, pads on, pads off, hit, not hit. The time is concerning to me because, I just don't understand how, everything is so new. This team needs to be together as much as possible to, especially the offense they're trying to install with option routes and a lot of different things. You need to get as much grass time as possible, even if there's no hitting.
I definitely agree with that. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, you're right, Reese. I mean, it's tough, man. It's a tough balancing act. Me personally, like I said, guys, you're really depending upon the players taking some of it on themselves to work with other guys, and to do some things that cannot be required by the coaching staff, cannot be required by the front office or anything like that. It's a tough situation, man, especially if you're a veteran team, probably not the biggest deal in the world. But if you're a young team with a new system and a new, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a bigger challenge. It's a much larger challenge.
I want to switch gears because I've been meant to ask y'all this. What are we doing about this game? You missed. But
I said Kobe. You can't miss when you say Kobe.
First of all, I didn't hear no Kobe. That's number one.
Anyway,
don't disrespect the GOAT like that. Yeah.
All right. What were you asking me before I jaded up?
What we doing about this game? Like, I'm trying. We supposed to be in talks of all of us trying to get to a game.
Oh yeah, that needs. But I also want to ask the LBs of the world, the Joey Shakes, all the guys to see if we can get it all. But definitely us three too. We definitely got to talk about that game.
Y'all was saying the Andy Reid one. I think I was saying the Andy Reid one. Y'all was saying the
San Fran
opener, right?
Yeah, the home opener.
Yeah, I was saying the Andy Reid one. Y'all think
I'm good with you?
I ain't want to go to the Kansas City one.
Yeah, well, it'd be rough if we do.
Yeah, right.
It'll be rough if we do, but look, San Francisco is not going to necessarily be a pushover either. So I mean, either game is going to be kind of a tough opponent, honestly. Look, I'm good for either game, man. Season opener or the return of Andy Reid back to Philly. I mean, I think both of those are they're big. Those are big moments. You know what I'm saying?
And I would love, again, we want to hit up other content creators as well, but we also want to, hey, you guys in the chat, like if we make this happen and we end up getting tickets, like legitly when we purchase them, right? We gonna come on here and let you guys know, because if you guys want to come out for that game, I mean, I know everybody gets the Eagles and stuff. We trying to be out there pre-gaming with all you guys.
Stadium with BBP, man, seriously.
Yeah.
And public service announcement. I want to change my guy to Toph. I just thought about him. I forgot he was on the roster. The dude from the Army. I think he's
Brett Toph. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. That's
that was
the dude who got bench pressed into Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
that's my guy.
Yo, that was the guy that when we finally got injured that bad, like that, when that last offensive line person got injured, and they were like coming in, Brett Toph. I said, who?
I know about him though because it came from the Army and it was a big story about him. So I did know about him, but I definitely I forgot about him. Like, who the hell is Toph? It sound like a Rugrat character. Like, I ain't know who the hell dude was. But yeah. Back to what you were saying, Mike. My bad. Go ahead.
Nah, I would like to put faces to the names, like the M&Ms, the J.J. Arcega-Whitesides, the Paul Mancinis, the Chris's, even though Chris got his face right there anyways. But, it'd be cool to go to the Eagles game and let people know. So if they can get out there, they can get out there.
What's going on, man? What's up, bro? Where you been? Oh, man, where you been? That's one of the day one BBPs right there, man. He was there with the Vic threes and the
Be More Philly came in here too. Be More Philly's been going all off season. Early on, he was here.
Yeah, guys. I'll be at the Panthers game. I see some of y'all in the chat. Yeah, I'll be there, guys. So when we get closer to the game, I'll send out where I'm gonna be, guys. If y'all want to come by and hang out for a little bit, we can hang out before the Panthers game. But we're also trying to get some stuff together for all the content creators to be at a game together, so that way we could do it upright, man. Do a nice little tailgate, do it right, bro. Hope we upset somebody.
Hey, Tone, man. I don't know if you've seen. I text you, but I don't know if you've seen. I done turned your logo into this, man. Mm-hmm. This is that Tone. That's the guy that made this logo, man. I done turned your logo into a line now, man. I appreciate you, man. Seriously, man. I really do, man. Seriously, bro. But go ahead.
Facts. So we are coming up on an hour and 15. Well, we're at an hour and 15 minutes. This ain't gonna be no 5-hour joint, but we could go a little bit longer.
5-hour joint. That's the marathon one.
We kill it though, but
that was the pandemic days. People got stuff to do now.
Yeah, definitely. So we will be hitting up the content creators to see about getting to a game, and definitely the subs as well too. And for those who are in the Philly Talk podcast,
that includes you, bro.
Al Kabir, the analyst, yes sir.
That includes you, my guy.
What's going on, man? If
y'all you're included in that.
If Al Kabir, you don't know Al Kabir is, man. He does content also. Make sure you go like and subscribe, man, to the dude. He does more than Eagles, you know what I mean? But I think he mainly talks about the Eagles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's in his blood, but he just got this gitch to where though he got to talk about everybody else. But that's my guy.
Mad at him. Yeah, I mean,
that's my guy.
But, with that being said, we are live for people just getting in here on 3 different channels. We got about 201 people in 3 streams. Again, they're not all together, so the chat might look different, but we are live on 3 platforms: the Philly Talk Podcast, Gate City Sports Channel, and Philly Fresh, all in the banner going across the names, the spelling, all that stuff, exactly how it's worded. But yeah, so preseason is on Thursday. It's less than a week away. Give me 2 players on offense and 2 players on defense that you want to see flash in the season opener.
2
on offense, 2 on defense. We gonna get.
I think we're all gonna have one of the same.
Hurts.
Yeah.
We all know. You know, when we do our pregame guys who we pick, I think the quarterback should always be.
Like, yeah, but when we were doing it, we had a 5-year veteran. Now we don't got a 5-year veteran.
That you got me there. True. That is true. Okay, go. I'll go first. I'm not gonna pick the quarterback. I'm gonna go with my guys that I've been talking about since they've been on the team, and now everybody is starting to see what I've been saying for years. On defense, I'm gonna go with Josh Sweat. I think this dude will have a heck of a year. I think he's going to get up to 8 sacks. He had 4 last year, but who knows how many he missed because of the things I talked about at the beginning of the live with Jim Swartz's system and corners not even being up on their receivers, so it was just pitch and catch. So I'm gonna go with Sweat, and I'm gonna go with Taylor on defense. If Taylor is the guy that I think they're trying to make him to be, I'm gonna say his name, but I don't want people to react like I'm just saying this. I think they're trying to make him to be like a Leonard type of the athleticism is what I mean. Like a Leonard over there in Indianapolis. You know what I mean? Can be anywhere on the field, be everywhere on the field, cover a tight end. You know what I mean? Can stick his nose in there and make a tackle, cover a running back. He has the speed and the athleticism to do that. So let's switch to offense. You already know my guy Quez Watkins, who I've been talking about since last year. That's my guy.
Stole mine.
That's my guy. That's my guy, man. I've been talking about. If you have followed BBP and you followed me, you know how I feel about Quez. I think Quez, he's just a play waiting to happen. And the second guy, man, I'm gonna go with is I really want to see what Gainwell's gonna do, man. How they're gonna use him. This dude is explosive. And you ain't gotta even use him just at running back. You put him out there in the slot. Like, the dude has hands. I haven't heard too much about him in camp. I don't know exactly what they're doing. If y'all do know, please let me know, because I don't know. But when I put on a tape of this dude, Mike Gates, when I put on a tape of this dude, my eyes pop. He is really that electric to me. I'm like, whoa. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with Gainwell, man. Seriously. Go ahead, y'all.
You said 2-2, Mike?
Yeah, Chad, do the same thing. Throw out your 2 players you want to see flash in the preseason opener against Pittsburgh. 2 on offense, 2 on defense. Why me and Gate go? But Gate, go ahead and take it away. Give me 2 of them.
I'm going to say offensively, it's got to be Jalen Reagor, man. You've got to show that you can be a legit home run hitter in the NFL, because physically it's all there, bro. It's something with his mental game and him taking himself out that he's got to show that he wants it bad, and he's going to win. So Reagor to me is a big one. He's got to produce. Second player, I won't take Gainwell because Gainwell's been said. So I'm going to say second player, you know what? I'll stay with the receivers, man, because I think the receivers is a big issue. It's a big problem, right? We're talking about bottom end of the roster. If we end up keeping 6 receivers, then I think J.J. Arcega-Whiteside needs to show that he can do something. He's got to show us he can do something. Something. Give me something. Just something. Something to give a positive, feedback with on the channel, my guy. Something. Just something. Like, those are the 2 for me. I got to see them, man. You're talking about a second-round pick and a first-round pick. Come on, man. We invested in y'all. You got to give us something.
Right.
I'll say that defensively is tough because there's more veterans on that team. But I'll say defensively, the guys I want to see, Milton Williams. I think Milton Williams is going to get a lot of play. So I'd like to see Milton Williams take off against a common opponent. I want to see what he can do. And then I'll say that, did anyone say McPherson? I don't want to steal a player. Did you guys say McPherson?
No.
All right. So I'll say in the secondary, I think McPherson is this is what I believe about McPherson. I think McPherson is the kind of guy that will make a mistake on a play and give up a 20, 30-yard pass. And then I feel like he's the kind of guy that defenses or offensive coordinators are going to then try to go back to him again, but he plays with reckless abandonment, and he's going to take one to the house. He's going to be in position the second time. He's going to take one to the house. I want to see McPherson. I want to see if what he's showing in camp translates against common opponents.
That's a lot of good ones. I'm going to try not to take anybody's because I was a big on a McPherson. I was big on a Quez Watkins. So on the offensive side, I'm going to want to see on the offensive side, I want to see Jordan Howard, and he's a veteran. But the thing is, being DNP'd with Miami last year, not being able to get on the field for Philly at the end, coming back to Philly and not really getting no PT. What happened to that bulldog that was with the Chicago Bears? What happened to him? So I want to see him flash in a game like, oh, wow, we got a legit power back that, can put his head down and go up the field. So I want to see something. I want to see the revival of Jordan Howard. I don't know if they'll give him much. Another player on offense would be, I want to look at one of these, let's just say Andre Dillard. He's going to get playing time.
That's a good one.
He's going against the 3rd best defensive line in the league right now. Maybe Sweat and Derek Barnett are too much for him. We know his weakness more was a bull rush than being finesse. He got quick feet. He's going to have to show something. Again, just to be able to be a depth piece behind Jordan Mailata. Steve said he might get cut. I don't want to go that far, but to not be traded, I want to see if you can flash against NFL players that, Steelers got a good D-line. But again, we're talking about our D-line for a reason. So if he's struggling against our D-line, how mad can we be if we're putting these guys on a pedestal as well? So I'll go there. And again, there's only so many offensive players, and I'm going last. So I'll go with Jordan Howard, a veteran who just disappeared, and Andre Dillard, a 1st-round pick. And on defense, Kavon Wallace is somebody I want to see. I had high hopes coming out of Clemson. B-Dog gave him a little, yo, you that dude, not that dude, but shout out to you for going to the Eagles from Clemson, blah, blah, blah. He talks a good game on Twitter, and Ronnie McLeod is getting older. He's getting older. He's coming off some big injuries. Can he play the whole season? I think Ronnie McLeod was playing his best football the end of the season right before he got hurt. I think him and Anthony Harris as a tandem is underrated. Is underrated. I think people are talking about Nelson and Slay. Anthony Harris and Ronnie McLeod will be a decent safety tandem. I like it. But Kavon Wallace is next up to me. Andrew Adams, a veteran, but more of a special team player. You know, Jacoby Stevens, a hybrid linebacker safety. Kavon Wallace, 4th-round pick out of Clemson. I want to see you flash in the preseason. I haven't heard your name be called in training camp. And the other player on defense, we went Sweat. We talked about the D-line, is Derek Barnett, 1st-round pick. He's shown flashes. Consistency has been the biggest part. The biggest weakness from him. But if our defensive line is as stout, is even better than last year, plus the back end being secured with the safety tandem and the cornerback tandem, it's going to put a lot of pressure, take a lot of pressure off these linebackers, which is our weakest link. Not saying they're completely bad, but weakest link. So I want to see Derek Barnett flash just because of the pressure that's being put on him with Josh Sweat coming to take his snaps. That's my 2. Kavon Wallace, a young guy, and Derek Barnett.
I definitely like them. Can I say something real fast? And I hate to say it while it's an op in here. A Dallas guy, Blue Chip something, asked about the Hall of Fame. Y'all got
Giants guy. He is.
Oh, Giants. Oh, okay, damn.
But he's a Sixer fan. He's a Sixer and Giants.
Okay. Well, then I kind of like you. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I don't give a damn. Like, say the truth. But quiet as kept. Let's really dissect our last 3 or 4 1st-round picks, or we can go back even further.
Oof.
You talking about Derek Barnett, Andre Dillard, Jalen Reagor? They all got question marks, yo. All of them. That's a problem, man. Like, I don't want to be Debbie Downer or whatever the case. Well, I'm gonna say Daniel Downer because damn sure ain't no Debbie. I don't want to be Daniel Downer or whatever the case may be, but it's been bad. It's been bad. Howie, I think that you had a good draft last year. I think Reagor is not a bust. I don't think Reagor is a bust. Does he have question marks? Yes. I think that you definitely hit with Smith. Hopefully he can stay healthy. You know what I mean? But when you just go back years and years and years, it's like, dude, like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, after Carson Wentz, your 1st-round picks has done nothing. Like keep it real. 2017, we didn't with Derek Barnett. I ain't gonna say done nothing. Derek Barnett definitely, he won a championship. He was part of the reason we got
Super
the
Bowl.
Yeah, Super Bowl winner. You already know. But has he been 1st-round talent? Is the question.
Yeah.
And the answer is hell no to the no. And I like Derek Barnett. You know what I mean? But then you go Andre Dillard. Has he been 1st-round talent? He ain't even been on the field. Then you got Jalen Reagor last year. You know what I mean? Questions there. But I will say, and I did see somebody comment, and they was right. He was getting open the last, I want to say, 4 or 5 games.
Who? Reagor.
Reagor.
With Jalen,
he was getting open. And I think Doug kind of opened the system up a little bit more, and things started to happen more because we had more of a running quarterback, and they tried to make Carson Wentz to Ben Roethlisberger. I don't know why. That was stupid as hell, but whatever the case may be. So I did see some flashes, and I always told y'all, and I still stand firm on this. I think Jalen Reagor is a better Nelson Aguilar, but it's up here, just like Nelson Aguilar. A guy that when you get him the ball in space, he can make a guy miss. As much as we grinded Nelson Aguilar about the overhead passes he dropped, about these passes that he did, whatever the case may be, for all them years that he was on the team, he was the best at getting yet. That's facts. He was the best at making a play when the ball was in his hand. I think Jalen Reagor is the same thing. Use these guys to their strength. I've been preaching this and saying this for a while.
He came out of college second to CD Lamb in yards after the catch in college. So Jerry, so all the guys, Justin Jefferson, Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, all these guys, he was second to CD Lamb with yards after the catch, and we haven't seen plays ran for him. I mean, we were using Jalen Reagor solely as a deep threat. Like, he can do that, but that is not his only and sole function. So I agree 100%. But real quick, shout out to Drew with the $2 super chat. I knew it was going to get brought up before we ended here. We went too long without it. He said, when is Deshaun Watson coming? All love, Kings.
I'm trying to stay away from that.
I know, but
I didn't make a video about it, man. I ain't even make a video about it. Go ahead. I'll let y'all comment on that. I'll talk after y'all talk, man.
All right, so I'll tackle that one, Mike. Pull that one back up on screen real quick.
Oh, this one too, yeah.
Yeah, so he says, because it kind of goes into his original comment. It says, Coach, who's to say those 2 or 3 first-round picks will amount to anything? Watson has proven. Just keep him away from the happy endings table, laugh out loud. So I'll give you my objection to Watson. Good, that was a good one. But I'll give you my objections to Watson. It's not the player. I think Watson's a top 5 quarterback in the league. My objection to Watson is the contract structure past 2021. So while he's only, a top 12 quarterback, so even if people don't agree he's a top 5, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who doesn't agree he's not a top 12 quarterback. Getting that guy for $10 million, sure, that's a ridiculously good value for 1 year. The problem is his 2022 cap figure is $35 million. That's the issue, and that's his base salary. No, I'm sorry, that's not even his cap figure. My bad. That's his base salary figure, which we would be on the hook to pay. So essentially what happens is that if the league goes to $208 million, and that's an if, we don't know that to be factual yet. If it goes to $208 million and we increase by over $20 million in the cap next year, you're still looking at a big shortcoming here to get that $35 million under, right? Because we're scheduled to only, with that increase, only have $12 million of available cap. So you can't really do much with your money this year if that's the case, because you're going to need to roll over every dime you have from this year. You're going to have to defer it from this year into next year, okay? And you still don't have him under contract at that point. You're still short the money for the $35 million. By the way, of the 90-man roster we have in camp this year, 46 players are playing on 1-year contracts or expiring contracts. 46 out of 90. That's over 50% of the roster. So how are you going to get Watson under contract?
Sign people next year.
Yeah, exactly. Extend guys like Goddard. Extend guys like Sweat. Extend guys like Derek Barnett if they do. Miles Sanders is coming up. Exactly.
And Jalen Hurts.
Devontae Maddox. All these dudes, man. What's his name? Eric Wilson.
Okay.
They're all 1-year deals. Eric Wilson, Anthony Harris, Steven Nelson, all those dudes are 1-year deals. So you're bringing Watson in, you're giving up draft capital to give him, you're strapping yourself financially. What's the team around him going to be in 2022? Because you're going to have to. Somebody's exiting the Eagles if you do that, and by somebody, the players that would have to exit are very easy to identify. I think there's only 4. We have 4 guys next year that are scheduled to make almost $20 million or more. One of those guys makes like 19, and the other 3 guys are $20 million or more. One of those guys is Fletcher Cox. Somebody will be absolutely out the door if you make that move just because of the financial implications behind it. So, I mean, I'm not going to say it will or won't happen. You know what I'm saying? You can never say something will or won't happen. You know the old saying, guys, where there's a will, there's a way. But there's going to be a consequence for that type of move. It's going to be a pretty big consequence.
Yeah, and to go off that a little bit more, team like Miami's a team that's pretty much set up to you got teams that are set up with contract wise and money wise that could get a guy like Deshaun Watson and they got 3 to 4 years to figure things out before guys expire. But because of our problems trying to extend the Super Bowl run, pushing the can down the line, being in a COVID season, giving all these guys a 1-year deal. So we have guys, like you said, the Miles Sanders, the Dallas Goddards, the Derek Barnetts, the Josh Sweats. These are 4 guys who are our core. These are our core pieces to the Eagles who are in their 20s, early 20s. Miles, Sweat, Barnett, and Goddard. These are guys who must come back to the Eagles, especially if they flash this year. And then you got the guys we just signed in the prove-it deals. If Nelson balls out, well, he should be Eagle longer. He's only 28 or 27. Yeah. If Eric Wilson balls out, he should be Eagle longer. Anthony Harris, Kerrigan, if he shows he got more in the tank, maybe he gets a 2-year deal.
And
I don't know.
And that's why I said.
But the biggest reason the biggest reason is this: I can't give up no capital for a guy who, as much as people say he's probably going to play, he's not going to be that bad. And I don't know if he's interested or not. But the way the NFL works, look, Ezekiel Elliott got proved that he didn't do it and still got big time in suspension. Ray Rice thing was horrible and he's done. And so if this case at any time takes a turn for the worse, there's a chance that he doesn't get to play again. I know it's slim, but could you imagine giving up capital and then he's not playing anyways? And for those who keep saying, well, we could fleece him, we could give him like a 3rd round or a 1st round only to get him. The Houston Texans have never came out and said, because of these allegations, we'll take less. They still want the same.
It's not even. They don't even have to say that. I seen somebody. I can't remember who it was on y'all live yesterday that said that, and I almost threw my damn iPad.
Shout out to Jalen Williams, the one who said it.
Oh yeah, Jalen, you my guy. I almost threw my damn iPad, Jalen. Are you kidding me? 3rd round pick. Like, come on, that's not never going to happen.
But I think Jalen was saying that he would be in favor.
I know exactly what you're saying, but he's wrong. I
don't think he was implying. I don't think he was implying you could actually get him for a 3rd round.
I know it was you, Jalen. You was tripping like them girls in the Scary Movie, man. You was tripping, brother.
What's up, Cryptolicious? I just noticed you in the chat, man.
But
crypto. But can I point out one point about that? Okay. You said, but Watson is liquid. We can sign him for 1 year and trade him if he doesn't rock. So here's the thing. Carson was liquid too until 2 things happened. Number one, he had the guaranteed in his contract that kicked in. And then number two,
trade clause.
And then number 2, later on, he had that option, the roster bonus that kicked in was an extra $10 million. You have to really know the fine details of Deshaun Watson's contract, because if you were just looking at Carson Wentz's contract before those things kicked in, you wouldn't know those things were in the contract. You get what I'm saying? Like, so you got to be careful because it might not be as liquid as it looks. It might become
I'm gonna tell you how.
A huge deal.
I'm gonna tell you how you was tripping. Even though I don't like it, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. The numbers of the last time we seen him on a field is not 3rd round, whatever the case may be, even with the allegations, bro. It's not. I don't like it. I would love to try to do that or whatever the case may be. But my whole thing is, how you gonna pay him? That's my main situation. You cannot pay this dude. Like, Howie is reconstructing, and when we say reconstruction, right? and Gates, I know you know what I'm talking about, Mike. I know you know too. People think as soon as they hear reconstruction, they think that money that we owe them is gone. No, it's pushed back. That's all people like how he did it. He reconstructed this, and reconstruction just means in a year or 2 later, he's going to have to pay them, and most of it will be guaranteed.
Yeah, but some of it does go off.
The same problem that we was in before, and he did do a good job of being able to. I don't know how the hell he did it. I don't know how he got Steve Nelson signed for $3 million, but whatever. The problem is the situation that we was in at the beginning of the season, being what was it, 27 million over the cap? We're going to be just like that in 2 years, probably next year. When you're going to have to sign, if Jalen Hurts is the guy, you're going to have to sign him, because remember, he's not a 1st round pick. He's a 2nd round pick. It's no 5th year option. So you're going to have to sign him. If he shows up this year, you're probably going to have to sign him at the end of the year. You're going to have to sign all the guys in charge of his name. Derek Barnett, Dallas Goedert, Josh Sweat, Miles Sanders. The list goes on and on. How in the hell you think we're going to be able to pay Watson? What the hell, Mike? What's going on?
My bad. My son downloaded that one. Super Mario. Let's go.
Yeah, that was my edge. I ain't even going to front. I come from that era. But how in the hell are you going to be able to pay this guy $40 million a year? You're not going. It's not happening. So like everybody just stop letting the media, excuse my French, stop letting the media motherfuck you. Because that's what's going on. Y'all listening to these guys, these beat reporters, the same way they doing Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has 2 amazing practices. They say diddly. And as soon as he has a bad one, here it comes. Because, and I meant to say this earlier, but I didn't want to bring up the name because I know we was going to get into this. Because of the Deshaun Watson situation. Now it's more people that's going to look at their article or whatever the case may be. Oh, well, you said we was going to get Deshaun Watson. Jalen Hurts just had a bad practice. Do you think they're going to trade for Deshaun Watson? We don't got the money, man. We don't. Not now. Yeah. Not in the long haul. So just stop it, y'all.
Yeah, it's definitely rough. At the end of the day, again, I just can't fathom it until I get some clarity with what he's doing. I think he's a top 5 quarterback, and he instantly makes his team better, especially with the skill players. Again, some of the kicking the can down the line is some of it getting kicked down the line, but some of the money sometimes does come off of the cap for the simple fact he turns it into signing bonuses and stuff like that, which doesn't affect our caps. I mean, Jeff Lurie's still paying that, but listen, Jeff Lurie is I think the Eagles, they said it on the Fanatic the other day, is $3.8 billion it's worth or something like that. But the cap is what? 185 mil. So there's ways where Howie says, Jeff, you know you're still coming at your pocket, but it's off the books. But some of it does go down the line, but some of it also comes off too. But we got to stop kicking the can down the line. The only reason I was really for it this year is because if there was ever a chance that we needed to, I don't know why, but ever since I switched something on my internet, like where I put it, I got to go back. When I put the green screen now, I don't know if I'm glitching, but it looks like I'm glitching.
No, you good. I don't know what the hell that. Oh, that's your regular joint. Look like a green iceberg behind you. But
it's just construction paper. I'm cheap.
Hey man, if it worked, you ain't cheap. You doing it right.
Yeah, right. But so real quick, I do want to shout out Vic 3 and the Nest Out West, who will be going live at 9:00. Vic 3 said I can't make my own channel because I can't keep up with the grind. But he's gonna start doing it. He's gonna be part of the show, the East meets the West for the Nest Out West. So definitely, if you want to check that out at 9, we will be off before 9. We got 18 minutes to get to 2 hours. We might as well rock, I guess, the 2 hours. You know what I mean? And we will be back for all pre-games. Remember, when football season's here and the games are on Sunday, we will be here before the game.
Are we doing it preseason or no?
I mean, we can. It would be like
I gotta see because usually them games
it'd be like 7:30 at night. So
and
Thursday, we'll have to go live Thursday at like 5. You know what I mean? Some random time.
I'll be at work, so
but we will definitely be back for Sunday. So I think we should start it a little earlier. So because a lot of times we were getting off with like 5 minutes into the game, and I had to rush to do stuff.
No, we just got to get off earlier. So
we can do a half hour earlier to get off with a good solid 30 minutes to do what we got to do.
All right. So what you talking like if we got a 1:00 game, like 10:30, 11?
Get on an 11, even 11 to 12:15ish is good to me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we can do that.
Because I used to be scrambling. Sometimes even when I do my play-by-play, I'll be like 2 plays in already, and I'm just starting to go live. It'd be wild.
No, not this time, Tone. We don't do that no more. I know you ain't been around in a while, but I know 2 hours just turned to 3, 3 turned into 4, 4 turned into 5, like we cooking coke. But no, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that no more, man.
See, you know what it was? Because we were young to the YouTube game. Now we're old, and like the old, not too old, but we're older, and the old YouTube man is kicking in. We're like, man.
The thing is the pandemic is kind of over, and people got shit to do. That's what it is. Yeah. That's what it is. The world opened back up, man.
Vic, so kind of. So if you take the 12 million, let's say we roll 10 million from this year, right? Let's say we defer 10 million from the 2021 cap to the 22 cap. So we have 23 million, right? We still need 35, but yes, if you took the $10 million or so in savings you would get if it's an outright cut or trade of Fletcher Cox. And then you took the $1 million or so. You're probably going to June 1st designate one of those two guys. So you're going to get a little bit of money back. Sure, you might have enough money there to get Watson under contract. But now you've just sent away the entire middle defense. Okay? So we got to start there, right? What are you going to replace him with? Because it's going to cost you, more than likely, it's going to cost you multiple first-round picks. So you gave away the middle of your defense. It's costing you multiple first-round picks or at least multiple top 100 picks. If you want to go a little bit more conservative with the estimate there. And, you're still barely getting Watson, the room to get Watson under contract for 2022. And now you still have all these extensions. You still need to have cap space to get, free agents you want to sign. You got to have enough cap space to get your rookie contracts, done. Because while you do have the rule of 51, so you will have, the league minimum gets saved against your salary, right? So you're just adding one player and subtracting another player, so that money doesn't count. But the money above the league minimum you have to pay. So when you really look at it in its totality, man, it's going to be a lot bigger than that. Like there's far more moves that's going to have to happen. Like we're talking about a massive shakeup of the roster.
Steve, agree with me on this. Mike, agree with me on this or disagree. I don't think that you really can. Mm-hmm. But as much as I hate to say it, his best fit is for a team like Washington. Yeah. They got a whole bunch of young talent and they got money.
Don't let them know.
I'm just saying his fit is not for us.
Nah.
We got a whole bunch of veterans. You're gonna have to if you sign Deshaun Watson, you're gonna have to get rid of Fletcher Cox. You're damn sure gonna have to get rid of Zach Ertz. You're gonna have to get rid of Brandon Graham. Those three guys are gone. They're gone. You cannot have those three guys and Deshaun Watson on the team. They're your highest. They're getting paid the highest right now. You cannot have. I'm talking about not just one, not just two. All three of them got to go. Think about that.
That's rough.
And as much as I talk about Zach Ertz or whatever the case may be, and we had not brought him up on this platform today, and I did kind of want to address that. You know what I mean? But he's here. You know what I mean? And
he's
you don't. Yeah, it looks like it. And you don't want to give him up for nothing. Then we talk about Fletcher Cox, who I think is going to explode. Pause. I think it's going to like really manhandle defensive lines if he get that extra millisecond when corners is covering wide receivers and not 10 yards back.
Yep.
And then we talk about Brandon Graham, who made the Pro Bowl for the first time. Shout out to him for the first time. And the dude it seemed like he's one of them fine wine dudes, man. It seemed like he's getting better as time goes. And because we all know, and I done said this on BBP, I done said this on my own lives, on my own videos. When Brandon Graham first came here, right? And they tried to play him at linebacker and all that kind of stuff, we were saying he was a first round bust. That's what I wasn't saying it, but people were saying he's a first round bust. I will never ever forget it. I followed the Eagles forever, yo. And I know what people were saying. I wasn't making YouTube then, obviously, but I know what people were saying. The same thing that they're saying about Reagor right now is what they were saying about Brandon Graham.
And Barnett.
Exactly. And that's why I said that, because they were saying it about Barnett. But we got to understand systems matter. I'm not going to say guarantee, but I will put $25 down that Nelson Aguilar has a better season than he did last year with Oklahoma over there with the Patriots. It's about system. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, and he had a better
Brady does not have six championships without system. Now this year they had a whole bunch of talent and they went against a guy that didn't have an offensive line.
Yeah. But
he doesn't have those other five without a system. That's what it's about, man. Making a player not look better than what they are, but making them evolve to their peak within the system. And we didn't do that. And shout out to Drew because it leads into what I'm saying. Don't have Greg Ward filling punts. Don't have Boston Scott bringing kick returns. Exactly. These kind of things matter. Why do you think our special teams has been ass the last 2 to 3 years? Because you're not putting your speed guys in the right position. You're not putting your taller guys in the right position. You got Rasul Douglas sticking the speed guy, and you got Avonte Maddox sticking the tall guy. That makes no freaking sense. Come on, man. Make your team better by putting them in the right position, and I think Nick Sirianni is going to do that. Go ahead, Joe.
Facts. Shout out to Drew.
G fam. Just real quick, man, because I don't think you understand the math behind it. I think you're thinking you just moved 2 players and everything is copacetic, and that's not the fact. You still got 46 scheduled free agents, my guy. Like 46. Now, we know all those dudes won't make the roster, but a good 20 of them are probably going to be on this roster. All right? So you're talking about trading your entire middle of your defense, okay, or cutting them, whatever you got to do to clear the cap space. Giving away additional picks to go get one player who you'll barely get under contract for the year prior, the next year, which will be 2022. And then you got to figure out what you're going to do to get your roster built. And by the way, saying that just having that one player is worth it, no, it's not. Remind me again, how many games did Texans win? How many teams did they beat with a winning record last year? They won 4 games and didn't win a single game against a team with a winning record. It didn't work out, and he played lights out. That's not how you build a winning organization.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I don't want to be the team that has a quarterback that's in top 5 breaking records, but we only won 4 or 5 games. Again, you don't want to turn into the Houston Texans. And again, some of that goes on their defense and other players, but again, a winning recipe is what you want to build for this team. And I think he's a very talented quarterback, but it's just, again, I need the allegations to go, and then I can start thinking about it. But shout out to Drew Johnson with the $5 super chat. He said, "Sup, fellas? Rock with all you guys. Bird gang. How do you see the special teams unfolding?" Fresh hit it a little bit. I want to say this. I think our special teams is going to be a lot better in a sense of just change up some of the guys. If Nick Sirianni gets these guys fundamentally sound, I think we won't have as many penalties on kick returns and punt returns, and then just getting a guy like Reagor or Huntley or someone of that skill set to be back there is going to change it. Like, let's be honest, Greg Ward, you can guarantee he's not going to fumble the snap, so there's no risk, but there's no reward. You're getting the ball, he's pretty much fair catching it, and if he doesn't, you get spotted 5 yards. That's about it. Now, the funny thing is, and the thing that really baffles me, is that this last year's coaching staff really put Jalen Reagor back there. The dude returned a punt for a touchdown and never saw it. Like, you cannot make this up. And this is just the smack in the face of just poor coaching. And I hate giving Doug that poor coaching term because he won us a Super Bowl with Frank Wright, who knows how big of a role it was. But at the end of the day, you watch a guy score a touchdown and never give him an opportunity in that situation is beyond me. Like, if my 6-year-old is playing Madden and he throws it to a guy and he catches the ball, he's going to be like, "Oh, that works. I'm going to keep doing it." Just common sense would it be like, I'm going to let Jalen Reagor stay back there the rest of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My God.
So a couple things. So G-Fam, just to answer your question, bud. So I don't know if Watson will rework his deal, but understand if we rework his deal, what we're probably talking about is a restructure, which is you're going to kick the can down the road on the contract. It's going to come due eventually, right? You're going to convert some of that money into a signing bonus, and then you're going to prorate it over 3 or 4 years, creating dummy years on a contract. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same things that put us in this situation to begin with would be repeating itself again, if he even agrees to do that. I don't see why he wouldn't, because he's still getting paid the same and he's getting his money right away up front. I don't know. Like I said, G-Fam, I can't tell you if the Eagles are going to make the move. I can tell you what the financial implications will be. I can tell you how it may or may not impact the roster, but I can't tell you how he's going to make the move. But the question I would ask you is, are we sure that Howie Roseman is kind of hell-bent on doing this? Because from what I saw, it was a Texans reporter who reported this, and then it immediately got shot down by everybody. That was not true. It was fake.
Everybody.
Yeah. So
I ain't gonna lie. Like I think it's fake news. That's why I ain't even bring it up.
Yeah.
I just think it's something for beat writers and people that write articles to get views or whatever the case may be. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I think this is just false. First of all, Howie, if you make that move, it's stupid. We don't even know if he's going to play in the whole 2021-22 season. So to even try to make that move is asinine. It's asinine, asinine.
I knew you were gonna say that.
It's all like it really is though, bro. Like, it's stupid. Like, and it has nothing to do with the player. It has something to do with the league. We know what the league do. Like you said, Mike, look what they did to Zeke, and he had no real evidence against him. All he had on video was him pulling the girl whatchamacallit up, which is not good, which is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But still, that's still, what do you got, like 10 games, 8 games, something like that?
Yeah.
6 or 8, yeah. 8 or
6, something like that, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. So you got to understand, this dude got 32 allegations. 32.
I know it was that many. That's a lot.
I thought it was 22.
No,
yeah,
I heard it was 32. I heard it was 32.
I ain't really followed that closely.
I could be wrong.
Personally.
Another day, another allegation. Is that what?
I could be wrong. Excuse me if I'm wrong. I've been wrong.
You might be right, Reese. I don't know. I haven't really followed it that closely, honestly.
I swore it was 32. But no matter the case may be, it's more than 2.
Yeah, and you know what the biggest thing is? Like, there's maybe it is 32, or one says 32, one says 22. 22 civil, 10.
I know I heard 32 before. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the biggest thing. I don't know if Vic 3's right or whatever it is, what it is. Drew said it too. But there's 22 civil, but 10 of them are like, listen, if it's about the bread, then it would be all 32 civil. Let's try to settle this thing. But 10 are trying to say, I don't want the money. I want justice. And so if that's the case, like, I mean, if it was, listen, I'm not saying it's true or not, but if it's a lie, why won't I think all of them would want that money? Cha-ching. But if 10 are saying they don't want the money, they want to take a criminal, then it's rough.
Don't do that to me, Paul. Don't do that to me, Paul. We don't need no UNC quarterback. Don't do that to me, bro.
Wait, what?
Don't do that to me, bro. I can't sit here as an NC State fan and pull for no UNC quarterback, bro. Don't do that to me, man. Come on. Come on, man. Don't do that to me, bro. Me and Simone, there's no way Simone and I could root for Sam Howell.
Yeah, I bet.
We were part of the NC State alum. There's no way we could do it.
Shout out to Damon P with a $5 super chat. He said, you BBP guys are my dudes, even though I never see you in person. Hey, if Jake Elliott keeps shanking 22-yard chip shots this season, I'm going to lose it. We're going to finish out here. Hey, listen, wherever you guys are watching, we still got 200 people in total. You're like, Mike, you're lying. We're live on 3 channels. Subscribe to the other content creators if you haven't. Hit the like button wherever you're watching it, and turn post notifications on so when we drop content, when we go live, y'all could be in here before we even really know what we're talking about. You know what I mean? But let's talk about Jake Elliott a little bit. How much of Jake Elliott's blunders were the fact that he never knew if he was going on the field on 4th and 2 or Doug was going for it? Because we went for it an extreme amount of time where it's in his head, where he's like not mentally prepared than he is. Extra point. Are we going for 2? Are we not? How much of the up and down analytical decisions of Doug Peterson, I'm not going to put him out. I am going to put him out. I'm not going to put him out. Could that play in his head a little bit? Let me ask you guys
that. It's a good excuse to make. I don't know if it's true. It's a pretty good excuse, right? I mean, look, did it play a role? Probably so, but I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not a kicker. I tried it one time. like in practice, just messing around, I could barely kick like 20 yards, bro. I'm so not that person. So I don't know. I don't even know how I don't even know how to kick the ball correctly like that, man. So I can't say what that kind of thing, like the repetition being messed around with that does to you mentally and what it does to you in terms of like your ability to follow through on the kick and stuff. Is just not. I told you, Mike, the thing I feared the most as a coach was the times they made me coach special teams. I was never, ever a special teams player. Not one snap in my 3 snaps. Let me be honest. 3 snaps in my entire playing career that I ever play on special teams. There's a reason it was limited to 3 snaps.
What were them 3 snaps, if you don't mind me asking? Where were you?
Number 1, they tried me as a punt returner and I fumbled. I pulled a Reagor and fumbled it, bro.
Get him out.
Yeah, they yanked me real quick. Number 2, they tried me as a this is back when you could actually, like, when you had wedge breakers. Bro, I wasn't breaking nobody. I wasn't breaking no wedges, man. Like, it wasn't working. I just wasn't strong enough for that. And then they had me one time, like they had me on the field goal team. I was supposed to be like on the end, like basically like a tackle blocking. I didn't understand how to block, bro. That's a Jalen Williams thing. That's not a Gate thing. Like, it wasn't long before they said, "Yo, can you throw the football?" So, that's what happened.
Gate City being nice to Jake Elliott.
Yeah.
I'm not. I ain't trying to hear that, because here's the thing, right? When you stay ready, you ain't got to be ready. So, when you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready, should I say. Sorry.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. I do understand the Doug Peterson situation, or whatever the case may be. Could that play a factor? It shouldn't, but it might. But, dude, you was in positions to where as though you could have tied games or whatever the case may be. And I said this to be funny, but maybe it could be true. I said, bring back Jason Peters just to get in his face. Remember in 2017 at the Giants game? He told him no more misses. No more misses. I don't think that dude missed a field goal. That dude missed a field goal all year after that. No, he did miss one in the Super Bowl. He missed something in the Super Bowl, right?
He makes the long, yeah. It's the close ones that he.
And it's crazy because I don't want to use a roster spot to get a guy to kick short field goals. You know what I mean? Like, that's a roster spot. But if it's the determining factor on winning games and not winning games, getting a short field goal kicker, you might have to look at that. It's messed up as it is, but you done paid this dude all his money. Now he fat, he lounging, he cool, he chilling, and you're not reaching where we need you to reach after you get this money, man. So to me, the Doug Peterson thing, I'm gonna go 90-10. It's 90% his fault, and I'm gonna give Doug 10%.
Yeah, I just wanted to get your.
Go ahead.
No, I wanted to get your take. I'm not giving him excuses. I just heard that be brought up as an argument, and I wanted to get y'all take on it. I think kicking, there's a lot of waiting around. Whether the coach puts you in on 4th and 3 to kick it or not, you might just not kick the whole game and have to kick a kick in the 4th quarter. I think like quarterbacks and other positions that go in all the time. Yeah, repetition is something, but it could be the coach's decision or not. You could just not go for a kick all game because you're scoring in the red zone, and then you need one at the end. So I would agree there. But here's the thing. Last year was like the worst season for Jake Elliott, so I'm interested to see how he bounces back. But that could have been a position, as Paul Mancini said, you bring in some competition at kicker and just try to feel things out. He is getting paid a lot of money. We paid him. But just to bring in a kicker could definitely light a fire behind him. But real quick, shout out to No Pro Sports with the $10 donation. Yo, Mike, love your channel and content. Keep up the work. Appreciate it. And once again, we still got 185 people through all 3 platforms. No Pro Sports. If you haven't checked out my guy Gate City or Philly Fresh, definitely check them out. They do content like I do. We all drop videos throughout the week, 8 to 12-minute videos, and then we drop live streams solo and together. This is called BBP for a reason, because when Steve is live streaming by himself, it's just Gate City. When Philly Fresh is Philly Fresh. But this is Battle Birds Podcast. And with that being said, we are at 2 hours and 4 minutes, and Antonio's probably thinking in his head, they said 2 hours. They gonna slip up and catch a third one and a fourth one, but no, we're not. we about to get out of here. I want to make sure.
Jalen, I didn't even get a hand on nobody playing the end man. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I have never. I told you I started off coaching. This is a real story. I started coaching Pop Warner football when I was in the Navy, and one of the guys I was linked up coaching with in Suffolk, Virginia, was like, "Hey, I got this camp I volunteer with. They got this crazy, talented player out there that they're going to be running some drills with. They're going to be doing some special teams drills. Do you want to help?" Like, my first real gig was really just setting up drills for Percy Harvin to field punts. That's really what it was. Like, it was my first real gig, man. And I've always avoided special teams, man. I hate coaching special teams. Hate it. Like, hate it with a passion. To me, it is the most underappreciated part of football.
Right.
It is. It's so underappreciated, and it's so much harder than people think to do it.
There you go. With that being said, Fresh, are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. My bad.
Nah, we just about to say our goodbyes anyways.
All right. So before we say our goodbyes, two things, man. Come on, before we get out of here, we all know that we ask everybody, let us know when you checking in. Where you checking in from, man? Where are you watching the BBP podcast from? And number two, if you haven't noticed, I got the Yodat shirt on, man. You already know Yodat. I got the Philly Fresh hat on, man. Come on, the merch is in the link.
Dang, I got the Yodat house. I got my Yodat downstairs. I was going to switch.
I got his Yodat hat. Make sure you go cop yours. The link is in my description of all my videos. And I am saying this right now. I'm in the works. I didn't even tell them to. I'm in the works on making BBP merch. That's coming up next. They don't even know. But
dang, my man's just
now y'all do. Trying to tell you, man, we trying to take this thing by storm. I appreciate every last one of y'all. If you have, hold on. If you have, I can't find it. Never mind. All right, listen. If you have copped up or became a member, man, I appreciate it. You get a Yodat keychain and all that. Send me your address. Send me a picture with the merch on, and I got you, man. Seriously, I appreciate all of y'all, man. Seriously. Go ahead, John.
There you go. But yeah, real quick, everybody, before we get out of here, just drop where you're from. That's what we like to do. Well, no matter if you're all the way in Texas, all the way in Mexico, all the way right here in Philly, let us know where you're at. We got some VA in the house, Philly, but now in Ohio, Tampa, Long Beach, Cali, but I'm from Philly, Fish Street, go Birds. New Jersey, watching in Texas. I'm out here in Philly, bro. We out here, says Nick. Richmond. There you go, Virginia. Appreciate it. We still got $1.55 through 3 platforms.
South America.
At least look, JJ. We don't like JJ Arthega-Whiteside that much, but he obviously likes us.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just kidding, J-Jaw. Hey, you had to have the utmost confidence to come into Eagles chat with the J-Jaw. And if it really is J-Jaw, please just stop using the umbrella. Atlanta, New Jersey, Philadelphia watching, and Erie, Pennsylvania. Atlanta, 58th Street, stand up. ATL, San Antonio, Texas. We got a couple ATLs. North Philly. Eagle has landed in Philly. Alex
What's
said,
up,
he's Atlanta. Watching from the vet.
Damon, I'm from Newcastle, Delaware. right on the border with PA. And I lived in Raleigh for the longest time, man. I lived over by Cameron Village.
There we go. Jameer McNeil coming in late, but I appreciate you. Woodbridge, VA. Baltimore Ravens fan, check in. Texas.
Hey, Ant Holmes, you gonna make that logo? I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Dame time.
You already know I got
time. We need it. Sixer Nation needs Dame. It's Dame or bust. I need all the buttons to be pushed. I need him to be disgruntled.
I definitely would love Dame. Love Dame. Listen,
that would be legit. You get Dame.
Listen, because you got to understand, like we won. We didn't win the East, but we was the number 1 seed. That's not happening this year if you don't make a move. You got to make a major move.
Ben Simmons can't come back. I won't allow it.
It's not even that, but you look at what the Bulls just did. You look at what Boston just did.
Miami.
Miami just did. Like you really got to look at what's going on. And then
Brooklyn will be healthy.
And then if you do get out the East, you got the Lakers that just tooled up. You got the Warriors that just tooled up. Our chance to win a championship was this year, and we fumbled the freaking ball.
Oh man, yeah.
That's why I had not made a video, because I'm so pissed, bro. We fumbled the ball. Milwaukee would not win another freaking championship.
What's up, Paul? Paul, first off, App State is not the best college program in North Carolina. I thought you were trying to sneak that one, bro. But Paul, I'm in Greensboro currently, and I go to Boone normally every year. I didn't go last year because of everything with COVID, but I normally go every year to catch one of the games out there. It's a good environment, man. Good football environment.
Keyshawn's Kitchen. We're talking about setting up a BBP and try to get guys like LB, Joey Shakes, and other content creators to all go to a game. We're kind of fighting over to Kansas City. Andy Reid, home one, or the home opener against San Fran. We'll be in touch. Within the next 2 weeks, we will come out with a statement, a BBP statement of what's going to go down, so we can all get our tickets and stuff like that if you're willing to come there. But with that being said, Antonio's probably back there like, they're 11 minutes past the 2 hour mark.
It's time to go.
We out. Say
it's
goodbye.
Time.
You don't got to go home, but you got to stop watching BBP. You don't got to go to bed, but you got to stop watching BBP.
So go over there and go Birds Nest Out West. You know, my guy Vic is over there. Y'all can go over there and watch him after y'all hit the like on all 3 of our pages, of course. Appreciate y'all in advance. You already know.
Go ahead, Gates. Say your goodbye. Or argue about the App State thing.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Paul. They ain't beat State, though. They ain't get State, though. That's all I'm going to say. They ain't get NC State. Yes, I remember the UNC game last year, but we appreciate y'all tuning in. Look, man, we'll get up with y'all. We got to figure out, like, you got to remember, guys, it's not just us planning the home game, so we got to coordinate with other content creators to see what their schedule allows, but we'll give y'all an update on that, guys. Hey, don't forget, man, down below, go to Reese, man. Reese has got him a Print Champ little webpage, man, set up with some merch. Y'all go check it out, man. I just ordered me one of those Philly Fresh caps. Waiting on to get it.
You got the fresh ones over to Yodat?
Yeah, I got the fresh ones.
That's tough. With that being said, go ahead, Fresh. Go ahead, let them know.
I mean, I just basically said everything, man.
Oh yeah, you did. You did say the merch thing. We got to.
I appreciate all of y'all. Y'all already know, man. I'm trying to grow not only my channel but all of ours. You know what I mean? I appreciate everything that y'all do. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all hit the like, hit the subscribe, man. We grinding. This is a grind. It's not. People think it's just easy to put a microphone in front of your face and just talk about whatever you want to talk about. It's not. It's a grind, and we've been doing this, and y'all have supported us, and we definitely appreciate it. You know what I mean? But we definitely just smash the like, push us out there, man. BBP is taking over this year. You already know, man. Yo, that.
Big facts. And with that being said, you know how I always do it. Turn notifications on, subscribe if you're new, hit the like wherever you're watching it, and we will be back with more BBP pre-games. Shout out to Drew real quick. I am doing a fantasy league. I got one for the members. I'm going to try to do a non-member one too. I'll figure some stuff out, but Philly Fresh won the first Philly Talk podcast fantasy league. He won what, 500 or 400?
I don't remember, man. I don't know. I spent that in one day. Yeah.
Loving it. But until next time, stay tuned. You don't want to miss out on the fantasy draft. And even if Gate or Fresh has one, and the best way to never miss a video, hit the bell. Until next time, y'all know what time it is. We out. Peace.